I pass this way but once. Any good thing that I can do, any act of kindness, let me do it now. So let me defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. Blessed day, everyone, and welcome to our live stream. Again, this is your brother in Christ, Jose Roniboy Perez Cariaga. Muli, bumabati sa inyo ng isang mapagpalang araw. Anong oras, anong araw, saang parte man kayo ng mundo na manunood at makikinig ng broadcast na ito, pagpapala po sana ang sumasa atin. At yan po ang dalangin ng inyong lingkod sa bawat nanunood at bawat tumatangkilik ng broadcast na ito. Narinig ko na ang mga katagang yan during my ADSCO days at talagang naaalala ko yan lagi. At ito ay gamit ng dating Vice Mayor na si Vice Mayor Osmeña doon sa dati kong paaralan, ang Agusan del Sur colleges, way back 1977, 1978. And I remember that also well kasi gustong-gusto ko pagka bago flag ceremony, sinasabi lagi dati yan. Only to find out, halos 2 siglo ang nakakalipas na ito pala ang original noon. From Stephen Grillet, 1773 hanggang 1855 na nagsasabing, I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good thing, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness that I can show to any fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. Bunga akala ko talaga kay Vice Mayor Osmeña ang mga wordings na yon, and bunga akala ko talaga is that sa kanya yon. So I was thinking it was his. But then again, nakakatuwa din talaga, no? Na natututo tayo through the internet, natututo tayo ng mga salita. But still, hindi ko aalisin ang bagay na natuto ako nung aking ADSCO days about that kind of saying. Is it art or rock? Kung sasabihin kong art, mula sa movie ito, na sinasabing act of random kindness, yan, or rock, which is random act of kindness. Ang rock, ginawa ito ni Ann Herbert noong 1982. Siya ang nag-coin ng rock or random act of kindness. Yung movie naman, mga around 2000 na yon, yung nagsasabing act of random kindness. So, pag-usapan po natin itong mga bagay-bagay na to from the quotation itself. Okay. Yung random act of kindness are spontaneous, unpremeditated, selfless actions intended to bring joy, support, or relief to others, often strangers, without expecting anything in return. These acts are usually small, simple gestures that carry profound emotional, relational, and psychological impact. Sa mga susunod siguro pagkakataon, bigyang daan natin, ano nga ba ang naidudulot ng act of random kindness or yung rock sa psyche, sa both doon sa giver and the receiver. But for the time being, let us just confine ourselves to this sa mga bagay na to. 2 o 3 bagay nakapaloob hanggang 4. They're often done, 1, anonymously or spontaneously. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo alam kanino, spontaneous lang, nagkatagpo o di kaya nangyayari siya. Spontaneous. Okay? Hindi pinagplanuhan. Without prior relationship. And then, this one is without expectation or reward or recognition in return. Nararanasan natin itong mga bagay na to, yung random act of kindness. Ang banal na kasulatan ay punong-puno nito. There are a lot of biblical examples on this, just like the Good Samaritan. Hindi naman kakilala ng Samaritan yung victim or yung sumunod, kahit na yung innkeeper hindi niya kakilala, but it was an act of random kindness. Second, si Boaz, yung magiging great-great-great-grandfather Jesus, showing kindness dito sa isang stranger, sa isang widow na namumulot ng mga nakakalat para lang mabuhay siya at ng kanyang biyanan. Or yung 10 lepers. Hindi naman kailangan na dapat sana naka-confine sila, pero ang 10 lepers na pinagaling ng Panginoong Jesus. And even yung isang bumalik, that was a act or random act of kindness. The widow of Zarephath, alam naman natin tong widow of Zarephath, kasama ng kanyang anak na namumulot na lang ng ilang mga twigs, and then may kakaunting oil at kakaunting harina na lang sila, and sabi nga niya, after this we die. And si Abraham welcoming strangers, yung tatlong strangers na welcome ni Abraham, na pinagpilitan niya na kumain muna kayo bago kayo magpatuloy sa inyong journey. Those are random act of kindness. Or yung Shunammite woman na ni Elijah. And we will be dealing with her mamaya lamang po ng kaunti. Makikita po natin ito mga practical examples naman sa buhay natin. Lalong-lalo na tayong mga nasa mentoring and feeding programs. Nakakatawa makita yung mga mukha ng mga in MDA, mukha ng mga traffic enforcers, pag dumadaan ako. Yung isa nga, nakasakay ako nung adventure, tapos bibili na siya ng pagkain ko, nung pinipipan ko, takbo talaga siya. Sabi niya, "Sir, kala ko wala ka na, kala ko hindi na mauulit-muli ito, distribution natin ng Starbucks pastries." Nakilala niya yung sasakyan, nakilala niya ako, and it has been a while kasi nga mula after pandemic, before pandemic, lagi ako nagbibigay habang papunta ako sa pinagtatrabahuan natin. Pero after that, hindi na naasikaso. Subalit magkaminsan, by God's grace, nakakakuha pa rin tayo, naaabutan natin sila. And yung smile talaga, yung talagang they thank you and thank God because of that. Or yung mentoring and feeding program natin. Brethren from different places, hindi nila alam, hindi nila ini-expect. At ang sabi nga natin, dalhin natin ito sa kanila. And we give them that. Nitong nakaraan nga lang, hindi available yung isang kapatid na magiging contact sana natin at magiging daan. Pasensya na po, talagang yung mga nag-VBS, Vacation Bible School, binalak ko talaga na sana madalhan ng mga to. Sana yung mga kabataan ay mabigyan natin ng mga pastries na ganito sa kanilang graduation ceremonies. Pero hindi nga lang magpanagpo yung mga schedules natin. But we have had this. We've been doing random act of kindness. We have been recipient, or I have been recipient of also of that random act of kindness. Siguro, ibinabahagi ko ngayon. And we will be dealing with that. Ang basis po natin ngayon ay 2 Kings chapter 4 and hanggang sa 17. And here is the reading. One day, Elisha went to Shunem, where a rich woman lived. She invited him to a meal. And from then on, every time he went to Shunem, he would have his meals at her house. She said to her husband, "I am sure that this man who comes here so often is a holy man. Let's build a small room on the roof, put a bed, a table, a chair, and a laminate, and he can stay there whenever he visits us." One day, Elisha returned to Shunem and went up to his room to rest. He told his servant Gehazi to go and call the woman. When she came, he said to Gehazi, "Ask her what I can do for her in return for all the trouble she has had in providing for our needs. Maybe she would like me to go to the king or to the army commander and put in a good word for her. I have all I need here among my own people," she answered. Elisha asked Gehazi, "What can I do for her then?" He answered, "Well, she has no son, and her husband is an old man. Tell her to come here," Elisha ordered. She came and stood in the doorway. And Elisha said to her, "By this time next year, you will be holding a son in your arms." "Oh," she exclaimed, "please, sir, don't lie to me. You are a man of God." But as Elisha had said, at about that time the following year, she gave birth to a son. May God bless the reading. This is from the Good News Bible. Ang ganda. Random acts of kindness from the Shunammite woman and also from Elisha. Tingnan natin. Makikita sana natin yung progression ng random act of kindness. Makikita natin that they were strangers. Both, strangers. Elisha was a stranger to this woman. This woman, stranger din kay Elisha. But then again, naging invited guest si Elisha. Hindi lang naging invited guest si Elisha, naging regular visitor, and then naging family friend. And in the end, uunahan na natin yung ating leksyon. Answered prayer pala si Elisha, not knowing, ang ginawa lang ay random act of kindness. And so, we deal with the texts. So, umpisan po natin. Tingnan natin yung progression. Verse 8 says, she invited him to a meal. Napapansin siguro ng babaeng ito na itong prophet na to, itong matandang ito kasama ng kanyang alalay na si Gehazi, laging dumadaan sa bahay nila, laging dumadaan sa bayan nila kasi isang mahalagang city ang Shunem na nasa parte sa tribu ni Issachar. So, lagi niya siguro napapansin ito, lagi niyang nakikitang dumadaan at yung hirap ng panahon na yon is that workers like this particular man of God, they just go on in expecting things. Kagaya nga na magkaminsan, sasabihin talaga natin is, God has provided, pero yung channels of blessings natin, nakakalimot na iparating sa atin, yung blessings that was intended for us. Ay, ang daming ganyan, no? Ang daming nakakalimot. You've been blessed, pero ang nangyari is, yung blessings, hindi na i-share sa iba kasi nag-hoard ng blessings yung pinagkatiwalaan, yung tinatawag nating oikodomeo, yung entrusted na ikaw ang inaasahan kong maging conduit, maging daluyan ng pagpapala, pero tinigil mo ang pagpapalang yan para sa kanya. So, you made other people's lives miserable because you hoard those. Pagkakaiba yan, kung nasa human resource ka, tapos ayaw mong ibigay yung deserve na tatanggapin sana ng mga empleyado mo because you've been cutting those things. Sad. So, unang-unang tingnan natin, she invited him to a meal. It just started with that. From strangers, an invitation to a meal. And the text says, from then on, mula sa araw na yon, nung mapagbigyan niya, hindi ko alam how she persuaded him or them to sit down. Mag-break mo na yung routine niya na dumadaan-daan lang. She invited them for a meal. And then, naging routine. From then on, every time he went to Shunem, he would have his meals at their house. So gaano katindi yung paghahanda ng Shunammite woman na ito, no? Every time. So naging regular routine. Kagaya din natin magkaminsan pagka may dadaanan, no? Pagka may pupuntahan, when we go visiting churches, and may routine tayo, daan tayo kinakapatid na ganito, daan tayo sa ganito. And we know that ando dun lagi, yung hospitality never runs out. This woman, maliban sa nakita niya itong worker na to, itong prophet na to, inopen niya ang kanyang tahanan. Mayaman, ha? A rich woman. And then, ginawa niyang regular part ng routine ng prophet na to ang mag-drop by sa kanyang bahay where may ready na meal sa kanyang bahay bago magpatuloy sa kanilang gawain. And here is yung ever thinking forward na meron ang babaeng ito. Mayroon siyang realization. She said to her husband, hindi niya inaalis na ang husband pa rin niya ang patriarch, ang husband pa rin niya ang masusunod, and alam pa rin niya kung saan siya lalagay. Sabi niya sa kanyang husband, I am sure, process of elimination siguro, no? Matagal niyang pinag-isipan, realization, I believe, hindi lang I believe, I am sure that this man who comes here so often, so palagi na, no? Regular visitor na, regular na pabalik-balik doon, si Elisha. At ang sabi na niya sa kanyang husband, I am sure that this man who comes here often is a holy man. Holy man? Paano niya kaya na-realize? Oh, siguro napansin niya that hindi opportunistic itong si Elisha. When it was offered yung meal, nagpasalamat, they go on. Hindi siya nagdi-demand more than what the host offers. And on the other hand naman, itong babaeng ito, nakita niya that serving this holy man, this man of God, is an opportunity na maging kabahagi. Itong man lang kahit pa paano, ma-share man lang natin, makapag-share man lang sa burden niya, makapag-share man lang sa gawaan niya, and maging part man lang ng ministry niya. She sees it as an opportunity to help, not a burden imposed upon herself at saka sa kanilang mag-asawa. Galing. So, thinking forward lagi ang babaeng ito. And she said, let us build a small room on the roof. Lagyan natin ng kama. Lagyan natin ng mesa. Lagyan natin ng upuan. Lagyan natin ng ilawan. And he can stay there whenever he visits us. What a woman. Diba? Mag-isip tayo, what compels you to do that? Provide bare necessities sa isang mangangaral. Bare necessities sa isang traveling preacher, traveling prophet. Bare necessities. Walang demand whatsoever. Walang demand na nangyayagaling. At ang kanyang nasa isipan lang, she is sure that this is a holy man, that this is a man of God, and mag-provide lang ng bare necessities para at least maibsan man lang yung hirap or at least indirectly makatulong sa kanyang ministry. Pero tingnan niyo maigi ang isa pang natatanging katangian ng babaeng ito. Consider the terms na let us. Hindi niya sinasabing ako magdi-decide. Kundi lagi niyang sinasangguni sa kanyang asawang lalaki na sinasabing let us build a small room. Whenever he visits us, hindi akong binibisita niya, kundi he visits us. Pinagpapalang pamilyang ito because of this holy man. Whenever he visits us, can we at least may provide man lang yung bare necessities, room to rest, roof, a bed na pwede siyang mahiga, a table kung pwede siyang mag-aral, a chair kung saan makakapagsulat siya, a lamp kahit nasa gabi o anong oras man siya makarating, he can stay comfortable whenever he visits us. Ang galing. One day, Elisha returned to Shunem and went up to his room to rest. Pansinin niyo, verse 11, mayroon ng possession, agad-agad, ano? So, from being a stranger to being a guest, ngayon, occupant na siya. And the wordings is that he went up to his room to rest. So, hindi lang plinano ng babaeng ito at ng kanyang asawa, kundi talagang isinakatuparan nila na mabigyan ng bare necessities itong prophet na to. At yung prophet na yon, hindi lang siya guest, invited guests, kundi ang term na ginamit niya ay, he went up to his room. May possession na talaga. May authority na ibinigay sa kanya. Room mo yan. Para sa iyo yan. And as a worker, as a minister, as an evangelist, ang masasabi ko talaga, sana all. Di ba? Hindi lahat ng tao Elisha, hindi lahat ng pastor Elisha, hindi lahat ng mga ministro, hindi lahat ng mga workers are given this. Bagamat marami sa mga kapatiran natin, among the churches of Christ, saang dako ka man makarating talaga, pagka nalaman ng mga kapatiran na ikaw ay kapatiran, they will offer their places. Kaya nga, pag nagta-travel tayo at alam nating may kapatiran doon, nakakatuwa na ang invitation talaga to spend the night with them. Every worker's dream, ang sana ganito na treatment. Every worker's dream na sana may mga taong ganito pa sa panahon natin ngayon. Ang naririnig ko lang ay every worker's complaint na nakuha naman ng follow me na nasa hymnal po natin. Number 107 po yan sa Songs of the Church. And the wordings are this. Yung follow me na ginawa ni Iris Stanfield in 1953, yung first stanza niya ay may complaint and then may sagot si Jesus. Seemingly parang conversation ito, ano? But nilapatan niya talaga ito ng magandang kanta. And wordings are from Iris Stanfield. Even lyrics and wordings are his. And even yung melody kay Iris Stanfield, lahat-lahat ang mga to. So, para bang may conversation between kay Ira at kay Jesus. So, let's read. At itong nilalaman ng hymnal na to. I traveled down a lonely road and no one seemed to care. Not with Elisha. The burden on my weary back had bowed me to despair. I oft complained to Jesus how folks were treating me, and then I heard him say so tenderly, my feet were also weary upon the Calvary road. The cross became so heavy, I fell beneath the load. Be faithful, weary pilgrim, the morning I can see. Just lift your cross and follow close to me. Sa second stanza, sinasabi niya, I work so hard for Jesus. I often boast and say, I've sacrificed a lot of things to walk the narrow way. I gave up fame and fortune. I'm worth a lot to thee. And then I hear him gently say to me, I left the throne of glory and counted it but loss. My hands were nailed in anger upon a cruel cross. But now, we'll make the journey with your hands safe in mine. So, lift your cross and follow close to me. Third stanza. Oh, Jesus, if I die upon a firing field someday, 'twould be no more than love demands, no less could I repay. No greater love hath mortal man than for a friend to die. Yet these are the words he gently spoke to me. If just a cup of water I place within your hand, then just a cup of water is all that I demand. But if by death to living they can thy glory see, I'll take my cross and follow close to thee. Beautiful. Nakita natin. Bagamat hindi lahat-lahat ng mga workers, hindi lahat-lahat ng mga evangelists, traveling preachers, and traveling pastors will receive like what Gehazi has received. Nakakatuwa pa rin na makitang may mga ganon. May mga Shunammite women elsewhere or somewhere. Marami pa. Siguro mga ganyan. So, verse 12 says, he told his servant Gehazi to go and call the woman when she came. He said to Gehazi, Ask her what I can do for her in return for all the trouble she has had in providing for our needs. Maaring hindi lang siya nagbibigay ng pagkain, maaring hindi lang siya nagbibigay ng tulugan, maaring nag-provide pa siya ng pabaon whenever they pass by her place. So in return, ang gusto ni Gehazi, ang gusto ni Elisha is that maybe she would like me to go to the king or the army commander and put in a good word for her. Gustong makabawi man lang ni Elisha. Gustong suklian man lang ni Elisha yung kanyang trouble in providing, in supporting his ministry. Kagaya din natin, na ang bukod tanging magagawa natin ay ang ipagdasal na sana ay mas dumami pa ang mga kagaya niya. And ang bukod tanging magagawa niya is that in return for all these troubles, good word to the king, kaya na man ng aking powers gawin yan. Protection from the army commander, kaya naman kasi kilala si Elisha being the prophet ng Israel. Pwede niyang gawin yan. Yet ang nakakatawa sa babaeng ito, ang sabi niya, I have all I need here among my own people. Everything I need. Expecting nothing in return because everything I need among my own people, meron po ako niyan. Secured and contented. Kagaya nga ni sinasabi ng Maslow, sa hierarchy of need, she is a self-actualized individual, or itong mag-asawang ito ay wala ng ibang kakailanganin pa. Bagamat hindi directly na sinasabing God has provided everything we need and we are safe and secured, contented by the blessings of God. Hindi natin mababasa yun. Pero maririnig mo talaga ang mga bagay-bagay nito na we have everything we need. God's been good. Verse 14 says, Elisha asked Gehazi, dahil wala siyang maiisip na ibigay, kagaya ng pag nagplaplano tayo, anong maibibigay mo sa taong ito? She's got fame, fortune, power. Anong maibibigay mo? So Elisha asked Gehazi, what can I do for her then? Kaya nga siguro, laging mag-partner yan, yung 2x2 na binigay ni Jesus doon sa limited commission. Kasi 2 heads are better than 1. Kaya nga, yung isa nakikita niya yung need, pero nakikita niya yung isang particular na scope lang. But here is Gehazi, yung assistant ni Elisha, I should say, thinking outside the box. At ang sabi niya, okay, she had everything. There is nothing to give her. Yet, thinking outside the box, Gehazi answered, well, wala siyang anak. Particularly, she has no son. At bukod tanging kasama lang ng isang babae sa kanyang katandaan, sa kanyang pagtanda, ay isang anak na lalaki, dahil ang anak na lalaki makakapag-provide. Kung anak na babae, palamunin pa rin kung tutusin, or sa lipunang ginagalawan nila na patriarch, hindi makakapagtrabaho doon para makapag-provide sa kanyang nanay na tumatanda na. Gehazi said, she has no son. Wala siyang masasandalan pagka tumanda. And her husband is an old man. Matanda na ang kanyang asawa. So, nakita ni Gehazi yung implied need. She has everything she needs. At yung claim niya na, I have everything I need. We have everything we need. God's been good to us. We have everything we need. But Gehazi sees more than meets the eye. Nakita ni Gehazi, thinking outside the box. Nakakatuwa. Gehazi, nakita niya yung implied need. She has no son. Futuristic, future-looking si Gehazi. Pag nawala na tong husband niya na matanda na, then she will be on her own. Saan mapupunta ang kayamanan? Saan mapupunta ang lahat ng mga bagay-bagay na to? So, he says, her husband is an old man. Yung unverbalized need ng pamilyang ito or ng mag-asawang ito. Yung siguro, matagal na niyang dinadalangin, secret prayer niya siguro sinasabing, Lord, bigyan mo po kami ng tagapagmana. Lord, bigyan mo po kami ng anak. Bagamat harap-harapan, she had everything and she's contented as it is, pero may implied need. What about the future? At maaaring ngang yun ang secret prayer ng mag-asawang ito. So, Elisha said, tell her to come here. Elisha ordered. She came and stood in the doorway. Again, what a woman. Nakakatuwa to. Hey, Elisha, bahay niya yan. Yet she knows her place. Alam niya na bahay niya, binigyan kanya ng room, binigyan kanya, nag-provide siya ng temporary, ng place mo to stay, where you will be comfortable. Yet, she stood in the doorway. Hindi siya pumasok. Hindi siya nanghimasok. Alam pa rin niya yung privacy. Alam pa rin yung kanyang pagiging babae, pagiging asawa ng may bahay nito. Alam niya yung gusto niyang mapanatili yung moralidad na walang masasabi sa kanyang asawa, walang masasabi doon sa worker. So, she stood in the doorway. And Elisha said to her, by this time next year, you will be holding a son in your arms. Random act of kindness. Nakinig si Elisha kay Gehazi. Nakita ni Gehazi yung unverbalized need. Nakita ni Gehazi yung hindi pa nasasagot na prayer ng babaeng ito. Kaya sabi ni Elisha, by this time next year, you will be holding a son in your arms. That's a random act of kindness. Then in return, oh, she exclaimed, please, sir, don't lie to me. You are a man of God. Pinapaalala niya, huwag mo dadayain yung feelings ko. Huwag mo kong bibigyan ng false hope. Oh, that yung unverbalized need ko, yung long unanswered prayer ko, huwag mo akong dadayain dyan because ang taas ng pagtingin ko sa iyo, you are a man of God. Please, don't make me hope in vain. This is too good to be true. Walang pagkakaiba yan doon sa ama na may anak na laging itinatapon ng kanyang sarili doon sa apoy. And yung nagsabing, Lord, I believe, help me overcome my unbelief. The same emotion siguro meron ang Shunammite woman nito. She's been longing, praying, waiting for a son. And yet this time, out of nowhere, hindi niya expected. The man of God says, this time next year, you will be holding a son in your arms. And verse 17, Elisha had said, about that time the following year, she gave birth to a son. She gave birth to a son. Fulfilled promise. A faith-reinforcing experience. And these are all random act of kindness. Ulitin po natin. Random act of kindness are spontaneous, unpremeditated, hindi pinagplaplanuhan talaga. Selfless actions intended to bring joy. What joy ang dinala noon sa pamilya, sa mag-asawang Shunammite na to. Unverbalized need. They have everything they need. They have contentment, security among their people. Yet, yung unverbalized need nakita. And ano mangyayari sa batang to? Support, relief to others. Yung ginawa ng babaeng ito naman sa worker na to na laging dumadaan doon, tuwing may lakad, dumadaan doon, offering food, offering shelter, offering at least a place to stay, comfort. And so, tamang itong random act of kindness, often strangers without expecting anything in return. These acts are usually small, simple gestures that carry profound emotional, relational, and psychological impact. Paano kaya yung emotional at saka relational impact dito, psychological impact dito? Ano? So, the more na itong babaeng ito magiging mapagpasalamat sa Diyos, the more na itong babaeng ito ay magiging secured sa kanyang kinatatayuan, sa lipunan, sa mga taong nakakakilala sa kanya at sa kanyang pananampalataya sa Diyos. They are often done anonymously or spontaneously without prior relationship, without expectation of reward or recognition in return. Ang tanong na nga lang is, ano kaya random act of kindness na ginagawa mo, magagawa mo, at gagawin mo? Again, ito pang inyong lingkod, Jose Renboy Perez Cariaga, umaasa that ang lahat ng mga natututunan natin ay sana magkaroon ng pagkakataong mailagay sa application. Salamat po.